Welcome to the Intellectual Conversations with a Gigantic Intellect. I want to tell a story about something which fascinated me 3 days ago, and I was thinking about it. It kept on being on my mind, and I was thinking about to say, but whoever came up with the concept of the GNU, that was a master stroke from the side of the ANC, and whoever who conceptualized that concept, I give him. You know what happened? For you to govern a country, you need the majority of 51%. And in the previous election, ANC got below that. They got 40%. And as a result of that, they were forced to go into a coalition with a certain party that is going to help them reach more than 51%. And they invited, that is the concept of the GNU, they invited everyone. It is still a coalition, but they came up with the concept of the GNU to say, we want to work with everyone. So they invited everyone. They invited the likes of the MK, they invited the DA, they invited everyone. They invited everyone. And that was a masterstroke from the side of the ANC. Let me tell you why. They never had the majority to govern. They never had the majority to govern, and they invited everyone. And bear in mind that before the election, the DA, they had a team called Moonshot Pact, where they said, we don't want the situation in which the ANC is going to work with the EFF. They call that a doomsday. So meaning that the DA left that Moonshot Pact, and they accepted the invitation from the ANC as a way to say, we are preventing the EFF from working with the ANC. And that from the ANC was a masterstroke, because the first people to accept the invitation was the DA. The DA accepted the invitation. And as a result of that, the EFF, because they were declared enemy number one, they never wanted to go into that arrangement. They said, we don't want to work with the ANC for as long as the DA is there. And that is a masterstroke from the side of the ANC, because it's similar to a situation in which you've got 5 girlfriends. You've got five girlfriends. And this other one realizes that you are cheating on him. You are cheating on her, and also this one realizes that you are cheating on her, but you still say, I want you all. I'm not going to leave anyone here. That is the situation in which the ANC finds itself. To say, if the DA decides to leave that arrangement, the EFF will be very happy to join that arrangement. Because meaning that the concept of the GNU, I can argue that it will take 5 years. Because if the DA decide to leave, this other girlfriend is willing to be with the ANC. This other girlfriend is willing to be with the ANC. So my argument is that whoever came up with the concept of GNU has the power in this particular arrangement. And the ANC has power in this particular arrangement. Because if the DA decides to leave, MK, EFF are willing to join. Meaning that government will not collapse. Government will not collapse under this arrangement, because ANC has opened doors for everyone. They've opened doors for everyone, and for them, they've won here. It's a masterstroke from the side of the ANC, because this arrangement gives them the authority, the power to dictate terms. And another story here, it is another story where I say that the DA never predicted this. I can say the DA never predicted this. For you to implement a policy in government, the policy must go through the parliament. And DA does not have the majority in parliament, meaning that there is no policy of the DA that can be implemented without ANC. But there's policies of the ANC that can be implemented without the DA. Because if you check out the ideology of the ANC, they align with the MK and they also align with the EFF. meaning that there are people who are willing to support them because they align ideologically. So what the DA finds itself in a very, very precarious position, because there is no policy of the DA that is going to be implemented without the ANC. Every policy of government must go through parliament, and the DA does not have majority in parliament. But ANC, because of this arrangement, they have the power to push any policy, to win any policy in parliament. So what you get here is this arrangement favors the ANC than any other person. The ANC is in control in this particular arrangement, and they can do whatever they like in this particular arrangement, because if they can say, let's say we want to implement a policy, the Bella Bill, EFF supports the Bella Bill, MK party supports the Bella Bill, the DA does not support the Bella Bill. And bear in mind that the Bella Bill was signed into law by the president after it was passed in the previous administration. ANC, that bill was signed into law through parliament. Remember, it has to go through parliament first before it gets to the president. So parliament, the majority supported that bill, and then the president signed the bill into law. Remember that bill that policy belongs to the ANC. What you get with this arrangement is that you will have a situation in which the DA is forced to implement the policies of the ANC. Strategic move from the side of the ANC. ANC may be a bunch of corrupt and stupid people, but there are some people in there that are very intelligent, and people who came up with the concept of the GNU. Those are the very intelligent one within the organization. I don't know who came up with the concept, but that was a master stroke. It's a master stroke. Because now the DA is forced to implement the policies of meaning that implement the policies of the ANC. This arrangement favors the ANC. Any policy that would be implemented in this arrangement favors the ANC. Meaning that the DA is helping the ANC to implement its policies. That's what you have with this arrangement. Master stroke. That is a master stroke. And bear in mind also that before the election, the president signed into law the National Insurance, NHI, National Health Insurance. In this administration, through the GNU, they are now going to be pushing that particular thing because it's already the policy of government. There is no policy of the DA that's going to be implemented. There's no policy of the DA that's going to be implemented. This particular arrangement will push the policies of the ANC. Master stroke. And if the DA decides to leave this arrangement, the EFF is waiting. The MK is waiting because they say ANC has sold out. So they are going to say, now we are rescuing the ANC from the sellout position. All that arrangement favors who? The ANC. So ANC, if you think about this, the DA here in fact lost. All opposition parties lost here. The ANC won, even though they never won the majority to govern. But in this arrangement, they are going to govern. Because if you have the president, you have the power. The president, if your party gets the presidency, that is the most important position, because according to the laws, they say the president has the right to appoint the people that he likes. They give him that power to say, President, you have the power to appoint anyone. So the president has the latitude to implement anyone that he likes. And that's what you get from this particular arrangement. They've given the DA these departments, but what you get in this department is that you will not come up with your own policy. You still have to implement the policies of government. And those policies of government belongs to who? These are the ANC policies. And I argue that the DA policies will never be implemented. They won't be implemented unless if the ANC favors those policies. But any policy that's going to be implemented in this arrangement is that of the ANC, because through this GNU concept, they've created a position to maneuver. Tomorrow they can work with the EFF. Tomorrow they can work with the DA. Tomorrow they can work with the MKP. That's what you have in Gauteng. The government still continues without the DA, because people like MK and EFF are willing to work with the ANC in Gauteng. So that was a master stroke. It doesn't depend on what the DA does, whatever. Because if the DA leaves, the EFF is there and the MK is there. So the DA does not have any other option to remain. ANC can do whatever that they like. For an example, in the foreign policy, whatever, Ramaphosa uttered some statements which did not augur well with the DA. Ramaphosa, remember, in the last week, he made some pronouncements in relation to the alliance, them supporting Vladimir Putin, and the DA does not support that. But that is the position of government, and ANC never consulted with the DA. And ANC knows that the DA is powerless. There's nothing that they can do. If they decide to leave, they open doors for MK and the EFF. That's what you have in this arrangement. And ANC may be having the most stupid Secretary General, but whoever came up with that concept, that was a master stroke. And I say to the ANC guys, whoever came up with the concept, it fascinates me, man, to say ANC, all these parties actually don't know the kind of power that the ANC have in this arrangement. But they do know, because the DA, even though they are complaining about the ANC, but they are not willing to leave. They're not willing to leave because they find themselves in a position where they don't want the ANC to work with the EFF, because they call that a doomsday. And also the EFF don't want the ANC to work with the DA, because they call that arrangement a neoliberal arrangement. So the AFF and MK wants to work with the ANC. They want, and all those people are enemies of the ANC. And the ANC knows that. To say, all these people, if they get a chance to destroy us, they will destroy us. Yeah, it's something that got me interested to say, but ANC outmaneuvered these people. They outmaneuvered these people. And I'm not a fan of the ANC, but I can say this, that ANC has outmaneuvered these parties. And this particular arrangement is going to last for 5 years, for the term. Because if the DA decides to leave, you've got other people that are willing. Is that boyfriend that is wanted by all people, has the power to say, yeah, I love you all. Come. If what's it's up to you, you can leave. And how did I so remember the power that you have? All this other girlfriend will want you. Why this guy is that situation? But Lena, no. I love you all. That is the arrangement that you have with the GNU, and ANC has warned that. Master stroke. This is the gigantic intellect. Know thyself and remember your ancestors. Peace.